Today, I'm going to show you something that should not be possible. I've built an AI system that turns one prompt in Airtable into a fully edited video. So we're talking about short form, but also long form videos, UGC ads, animation, pretty much whatever you want, using Veo 3.1's new extension feature. So you don't need editors, no timelines, no cameras, just pure automation. So watch this. I've made a few sample videos for you to see. So let's have a look at this one.
This is actually calming. Light guided focus. Science or magic, it just works. It feels kind of amazing.
What's gotten into you today? Honestly?
This thing.
Wind down mode is the best part of the day, right?
I get it now.
The Lumina Band delivers focus, calm, and a new rhythm to every day.
Right, do you see this one? Let's have a look at this one now.
He found MatchPlay, a platform made for athletes, trainers, and fitness creators to connect with brands seeking real reach. I just got a match request.
We found exactly the vibe we want.
Right, and then we got this last one.
Losing track of so many chats. Leads just vanish.
All my chats, neat and sorted. Finally. Setting up the workflow once now means follow-ups and bookings just happen automatically.
Right, so you already saw here. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it just gives you an understanding on the capabilities and where this is going to. I mean, all you need to do is just refine the prompt a bit further, and you can get pretty good videos. But yeah, this is just from one prompt. And I'm not sure if you observed, but it will also post all of your videos automatically on any social media platform that you wish. So if you saw before here, well, this was uploaded automatically with the description as well. See how the Lumina Band transforms chaotic moments. So you can automate all that. And as you see here on Instagram, it also does the same. Okay, so you can also upload to Twitter, TikTok, and whatnot to get as much exposure as possible. And the best part is that once this is set up, it's very easy to use. And I'll give you a live demo right now. So let's put in the name of the video. Let's first create a new row, add the video name, and then we are going to add the instructions. So I asked ChatGPT to do this for me. And what I do is that I describe a video description for every scene that I want, okay? So we have the name of the scenes, visual description, and then a dialogue. Once that's done, well, you match that with the number of scenes that you want. And this is only possible because we have this extension feature for Veo 3.1. So let's put 5 to match it with the number of, the amount of instructions that we have. And then we can set a style. So I'm gonna go just to change things a bit. Studio Ghibli anime over here. And yeah, so then we set the status to generate the first scene. And then we have a neat set of buttons over here. So once I hit any of these buttons, these are going to trigger webhook endpoints on different sections of the workflows, okay? So you can see here that we have, well, create the first scene, extend the first scene, merge and render the scenes, create the captions, and then with those captions, we can post the video to socials, okay? So if we go ahead and execute the workflow, now it's gonna wait for a signal from the button press. So we're just gonna press the button over here. It's gonna say workflow has started, and then it's just gonna trigger this workflow. Okay, so we're going through this. We are calling a different a sub workflow, and the sub workflow is the one over here. Okay, so we're gonna see that this is executing in the background, and this is just going to call the Veo 3 endpoint so that it can generate the video for us. And yeah, so it's just gonna grab the status. Whenever it's ready, it's gonna push it out, and we're just gonna wait. All right, so we can see that we have uploaded the video and updated the record on Airtable. So we're gonna have a look at that. So there we go. And if we have a look at the video that has been uploaded, we can actually check it here on the scenes. So if we go down over here, the hidden skill, we can see the video over here. Let's have a look at that. It's still being processed, but I can go ahead and download that so I can quickly show you guys how it looks like. Let's open this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show you.
I'm so glad you could join me here on the sofa today.
Let's talk about finding your creative spark.
Right. So what you saw there was this first scene over here. And what we can do now is extend the scene. So we're going to grab this scene and use it as context to create the other scenes, right? As indicated over here. So you saw here that we have 5 scenes. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and press this button, which is going to activate the second part of the workflow. So for now, we have it on test mode. So that's why we have to activate these webhook endpoints step by step. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's click the button over here. It's going to say that the workflow has started, and now it's going to be running this second part. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and run it in a loop to generate as much scenes as we need to. In this case, we're going to go through the loop 5 times or 4 times because we already generated the first scene. So yeah. All right, so we have finished over here, and you can see that it has gone through the loop 4 times. Okay, so we call this workflow over here in the background that is in charge of extending the videos. So it got executed. We should be able to see it over here. Yeah, there you go. So it should be this one, if it loads, of course. So we have called that. And yeah, let's have a look at the results. So now it's ready to render. Okay, when I mean ready to render, it's ready to go through the editing process to stitch all of the different scenes together. So you can go ahead and look at the scenes. Let's go this one. And let's go ahead and look at the second video, for example. There you go.
Small, everyday movements can help the brain form stronger connections.
Right, so that's the second one. Let's go ahead and have a look at the first one. Why not? Okay, let's download that. You can have a look at it. So this one over here. Let's go back and put this one.
By moving while you are thinking, you are helping your brain make new connections and think in new ways.
Right. So that's its 13 and so on and so on. Okay. Let's come back over here. And so the same thing for the rest of the scenes, right? So now that we have all the videos, we need to, as I said, render them together. You can also have a look at how many scenes you have here, which is nice. So now it's the rendering part. So let's go ahead and hit the third button. Let's make sure that the endpoint is running and available. Render video. So now it's waiting for a signal, which is going to be activated with this button. So go ahead and click it. Now we are going to go through the rendering process so that we can stitch all the videos together by using this workflow, this sub workflow over here, which is this one. All right, so now we have finished the merging and the rendering. So what we have done right now is we've got all the individual videos, okay, and stitched them together. So let's have a look over here and let's play that video.
You could join me here on the sofa today. Let's talk about finding your creative spark.
Small, everyday movements can help the brain form stronger connections. By moving while you are thinking, you are helping your brain make new connections.
Right, so we see that the total length is 35 seconds. And yeah, it works. Obviously the transitions you can see might be a bit sloppy, to be completely honest, but you can always tweak this on the API responsible for doing the video editing, right? The stitching together. You can tweak it until you get the right parts cut away from the final video. So then the editing looks much smoother. But that's something that can be improved on for sure. But the point is that this works, right? We have added all the individual scenes together successfully. And now what we're gonna do is the final step, which is uploading, creating the captions for the posts for social media platforms. So you can see it's ready to upload. And let's go ahead and do that. So let's go on the last part of the workflow. Make sure to select upload. Activate, make the webhook active so they can receive our signal from here. So let's go ahead and hit captions and upload, press the button, and then it should activate this final part of the workflow where we have a publishing agent. It's going to take care of creating the descriptions and the titles for all the different platforms we want to post to. And then we're actually going to upload the media and get a status back. So if you check the Airtable over here, you would see that we have uploaded to all of these different platforms. And yeah, I mean, you have seen how the final videos look like at the start of the video, right? So over here, it's just gonna look like this, although, you know, it takes some time for the videos to upload to the platform, so you might have to wait a bit. But yeah, eventually you would see it uploaded over there. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the flow. And as I mentioned before, you don't need to do it manually by activating each of the endpoints. What you can do is set the workflow to active, okay, and then change a little thing that I'm gonna explain later in the video. But let's go through this step by step so you can set it up for yourself. In order to get started with this workflow or automation, you need access to n8n. If you're new to this, n8n is what you see on the screen. It's this automation builder that allows me to build what you see on the screen, okay? So there's two ways in which you can get started with this. You either go to the official n8n site and you pay 24 euros a month, okay? This has a few perks. Well, I wouldn't say perks, it's just features, but it's kind of limiting for the amount of money that you're paying every month. So if you're running a bit lower on budget and you want more flexibility and privacy on the data that you're building on when you build workflows, then I would suggest to use a virtual private server, okay? So you could use another hosting provider for this, such as Hostinger, and look at the difference in the payments, okay? So this costs $6 a month. So yeah, let me quickly show you how to set up the Hostinger VPS. So the first thing that you're going to do is head to this page. I'll leave a link to this page on the description of this video. And the first thing that you're going to see is this beautiful Cyber Week sale announcement over here. So if you see this, well, you're lucky because you're getting the deal that I'm about to show you at a big discount. So 67% off. So make sure to actually go through this if you want to get a deal. And I'll show you a little hack to get an even cheaper deal as well. So let me quickly explain why Hostinger and what plan you should get. So one thing that I want to point out with Hostinger is that they are one of the biggest server providers in the world for these sort of services. Okay, what this means for you is that if there's an outage with any of your products or tools that you're hosting with Hostinger, you'll be able to route to another server very, very quickly, which is something that you can't do if you're a smaller server provider. Okay, what this means is that your services or tools hosted here are going to be much more reliable. Another thing that I want to point out is that you can see their reviews on Trustpilot. There's a lot of them. So you can be assured that they are a good provider. Okay, now I want to touch on the different hosting plans that you can choose from. And now I want to touch on different hosting plans over here. So you see that I have these weird names followed by a number. So the numbers essentially mean the amount of virtual CPU cores that each of the plans have. Okay, if you're not technical, that's fine. I tested all of the different plans for n8n, for hosting a VPS with n8n. And what I can tell you is that the best one regarding price to quality ratio is the KVM 2 plan, okay, for around $6 a month. And it's nice because it's 67% off, but if you stick with the rest of the installation, I'll give you an even bigger discount. I'll give you a little hack you can do. But yeah, so you're getting 2 CPU cores, 8 gigs of RAM, 100 gigs of NVMe disk space, and 8 terabytes of bandwidth, which is more than enough for your use case. For most people that are getting started with n8n, this is perfect. The only thing that would make me tell you to pick the other plans is that if you're running at the same time more than 100 or 500 workflows, okay, which is not the case even for me. So as I said, this is going to be your best bet. And if you don't remember why you should get n8n on a VPS versus doing it on the cloud, well, you have one of the few advantages over here. So you get community nodes, you get unlimited concurrent executions, which is something that the n8n cloud plan doesn't offer. One-click n8n installation. This is something specifically for Hostinger. You'll see how easy it is. And you get a few other things as well. But yeah, the main thing is the unlimited concurrent executions and unlimited workflows. That's what brought me into this plan, to be honest. So once you're ready, you go ahead and click choose plan over here on the KVM2 plan, and you're gonna get redirected to this page. So you'll see over here that all of the discounts have been applied for the Cyber Week sale, and also we get an additional discount because we chose the 24-month plan. So these are the periods that you can get for. You can check the 12-month plan, you're getting $114 saved. But if you go to the 24-month plan, we're not getting not only double, but actually $60 more on top of doubling the savings, right? So this is a really good plan, really good deal that you're getting over here. Trust me. And yeah, I'm actually going to show you how to get even further discount just for watching this video. So consider yourself lucky. So if you type Frank Nillard, as you see over here, and you hit apply, you're just gonna get a random $14.38 off just for watching this video. So that's that. You can choose daily auto backup. Well, what this means is that your VPS data gets backed up every day. So let's say you're working on something and then your internet leaves, or the server crashes, or you get redirected to another page, and if you come back, your data is lost. Well, you can make sure that the VPS data, if you choose this, or your workflows can be recovered. Okay. And now regarding the server location, ideally you choose a server location closest to you or your audience if you're hosting software, for example. Since you're going to be the main user for the n8n app that you're hosting on Hostinger, then you would choose their server location closest to you. Okay, this should be done automatically already, but yeah, just letting you know just in case. And now you'll see that we can select an operating system. So you're going to go ahead and choose n8n. There's different other n8n options, but you're going to go ahead and choose this one. And that's pretty much it for this part. Now you're going to hit continue. It's going to take you to the checkout page. So you're just going to type in your billing address, select continue, and then insert a card payment, and then you're good to go. Okay. Then you're going to make the payment, and I'm just going to see you on the other side because I already have this plan. So yeah, see you on the other side. So if you've completed the payment process, a pop-up window should appear with something like payment done, let's go. So just hit get started on that, and then you should see a screen like this. This is the actual setup. So we're gonna hit start now, and then select the location. So it should already choose the closest location to you, but if not, select it manually. Then select continue, and then for the OS template, you're going to look for n8n, okay? So make sure to hit this one. Okay, so then hit select, and for the additional feature, just continue because it's free anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then for the password, this is the password that you're going to use to log into your VPS, okay? So once you host n8n on Hostinger and you go to the URL, you're going to see a login page, right? An n8n login page. This is the password that you're going to use to log into that. So write one down. And then for the VPS host name, you can change it later, so don't worry about it, and then just hit continue. All right, so one more step to finish your VPS setup, just hit finish setup, and then it's going to go through this process. It should take somewhere around 5 minutes. Once this is done, I'll be back. Okay, cool. So now you're gonna see something like this. Just hit manage VPS, and now you're gonna see this. Just skip it, you can do this later. And now you should see this. So we're running right now on Ubuntu 24.04, KVM2 plan, perfect, root access, and then you see that we have n8n on the top, okay? Perfect. So now what you're going to do is hit manage app, and it's going to open a new tab for us. And this is where we're going to set up our details, okay? Set up our owner account. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, once you're in, then just fill this in. I usually just click random stuff. Get started. Yes, so once you see this, make sure to select send me a free licensee, okay? So it's just gonna give you some great additional features. So hit that, and then go ahead and go to your email, okay? The email that you added at the start of the setup. So if you remember on the login page, you put an email, make sure to go to that email and grab the license key. So this is the email that I'm talking about. Just hit activate license key, and it should bring you to your n8n instance, and it should already be activated. So now you should see that you are on the community edition. So that's great. All right, so that's pretty much it. Congratulations. Now you have n8n on your very own private server. So once you have n8n set up for yourself, then you can go ahead and download this workflow. I'll leave a link in the description. The way you do that is by, well, if you're new to this, you'll be presented with this when you log in, create a new workflow, and then you should download the workflow as a JSON file. Okay, it's a type of file. And then you should be able to hit import from file. So let me zoom in so you can see it better. So the 3 buttons over here on the top, import from file, and then select the JSON file, and then it should open over here. So then once you click that, you should see this. And I gotta give a shout out to an n8n builder called Calvin. Shout out to him for inspiring this build. Okay, so I actually tweaked it very heavily. I tweaked the workflow very heavy. Stress test it so that it's a bit more production ready. So we have the webhooks here that I added, and I fixed a lot of things in the sub workflows that we're calling to extend the video and also merge the individual videos as well. So yeah, I spent a decent amount of time through it so that you get a better experience. So yeah, go ahead and download it in the description of this video. So once you have this workflow here, then make sure to set up individually set up all of the different nodes. Okay, so you have Airtable, you have Google Drive. Okay, so make sure to set up all of those. And I left here a summary of all the tools being used, right? So this is the VPS. So if you want to host n8n to save up some cash for $6 a month, you can go ahead and use the discount code, or you can just go and pay for the more expensive n8n version, right? The version hosted by n8n, get a free trial. And then we have OpenRouter for the LLMs, Airtable for the database, which you see over here. I'll also allow you to download this in the link in the description, so you can copy it. And for creating the videos, we have KIE AI. It's a provider that allows us to access Veo 3.1 and also the extension feature, which is very important. And for analyzing the videos, we have File AI. For publishing to social media, we'll have a look at it later. It's Blotato. You can get a free trial if you hit this link. And yeah, we're gonna use the Google Drive API, so that might require some setup. And yeah, for doing the video editing and rendering, we have Shotstack. Okay, and I left a few other important notes over here, which we're gonna go in a second. All right, so for this first part of the workflow, I just imported one of the executions. We're essentially triggering this workflow with a webhook. So if you go over here, we have these buttons over here. So if we open this, right, we just double click this, you can see that when we press the button, we are actually opening a URL, and the URL is essentially the webhook address, okay, over here. So it just links to this. So you can see the URL. It's a GET request, by the way. There's GET and POST, it's GET. And right now it's on a test URL, which I explained before. But if you want to be able to trigger these without having to execute the workflow or execute the different parts of the workflow with the webhook, then what you can do is set this to active. Okay, so you can set that to active, and then you'll see that we have the test URL and production URL. So you'll have to choose the production URL. So that will mean that we remove the -test, right? It gets removed if you have a look at it closely. So, and then you can change the path if you want, but I'll just leave it the same, to be honest. So since we're removing this onto the production URL means that we're setting this to active, then you'll have to change over here this URL, okay? So you'll have to remove the -test and leave it like that. And I'll show you an example of it right now. So if we hit save, I remove the -test or /test, however you want to call it, from the URL. So let's save that. And this is to active, this is set to active. So if I unpin that, okay, now let's just get this one again, okay, just for a test. Black holes, let's grab this, let's paste it over here. Nope, let's paste it over here. 5, UGC realism, generate the first scene. And then we hit the button, then the workflow has started, but we can't see it over here because it's running behind the scenes. So you can see it via the executions tab. We will see that we'll see a loading tab right now. And this is running in the background. You see that I didn't have to, I'm gonna stop the execution. You saw that I didn't have to activate this manually, right? By hitting execute workflow, whatever. So that's what you have to do in order to switch it to production, so that you can just hit the buttons here straight away, and then it works by itself without you having to, put these in, You have to trigger these manually. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna change it for now. I'm gonna add that back if I need to test with it in the video, but that's how it works. Let me remove that as well. But yeah, essentially what we're doing is if I create a new record over here, we will need to set this to generate first scenes, okay? After adding all the other details as well. Because what we're doing here is that we are searching for records that have generate first scene as their status, okay? So another note that I added is that you should only have one of them at a time with the generate first scene on as the status. So once we grab that, then we have a generator agent that's going to generate the first scene for us, right? So we give it all instructions for all the scenes, but it's just gonna generate the first scene for us. It's gonna smartly figure out how that is. Then we are sending that prompt and selecting the models. In this case, we're selecting Veo 3 fast. So we're selecting Veo 3 fast and we're choosing an aspect ratios. In this case, it's horizontal, okay? So what that's gonna do is run this workflow over here. So perhaps we can view the sub execution. So you can see, we can see it with actual data. So this is workflow 2 out of 4, okay? There's a total of 4 workflows that you'll be able to download. So obviously we have the main workflow and then the other ones are running from that main workflow. So right here, we're calling the actual Veo 3.1 endpoint. We're using KIE AI for this. It's much cheaper than File AI, if you're aware of it. So they are two separate providers for accessing all these image generation and video generation models. So we're using KIE because it's cheaper. So that's what we're doing here. We're sending the prompt, the model, the aspect ratio, which we received from the main workflow. And yeah, so we're adding some error handling as well. And yeah, so we're passing it until we get a video status of completed. And then we're setting some other error handling. But once we have the video, then we're gonna send it back over here. So once this is complete, then we have the actual video. We're gonna upload the video, create a video record. And if the number of scenes is 1, well, that means that it's the first scene and we're gonna update the record accordingly, right? So actually it should be this one. So the number of scenes is equal to 1. So what I mean is that if the number of scenes is, well, the number of scenes is equal to 5. So that's why it's false, okay? Because the total number of scenes is equal to 5, it's not 1, then we're updating the record accordingly. And if it's only 1, well, we are finished. We're finished with it. So the difference with this is that on this one, we're gonna add extend scenes, okay? This is an instruction for the rest of the workflow to understand, okay, well now, it's not only 1 scene, it's actually 5 scenes. So we need to go through the second part of the workflow to extend the video. If it's true, then, we should set this actually to ready to render, okay? So that's what it is over here. And that's pretty much the first workflow, the first part of the workflow at least. All right, so now we have the second workflow responsible for extending the first scene into multiple scenes, okay? So the labeling on the first part comes really handy because now we're looking for records that have extend scenes at their status. And at the same time, we should only have 1 at a time with this label. But essentially, we're grabbing that, we're searching for the scenes for that record. So basically what we're doing is we are grabbing the record ID for that, and then we're searching, you could say in the backend, for all the different scenes available for that video idea. So if we add a new one, well, we should have the video idea and only 1 scene, right? Because we need to generate the rest. But yeah, once we do that, then we're gonna add the next scene number, okay? Because it's actually looping, it's actually a loop. So what we're doing is adding a 1 to the next scene number. And we also have the total number of scenes, which we define as 5, because this is gonna help us to stop the workflow whenever we reach the limit, okay? When we reach the desired amount of scenes, because now here we're saying, okay, if the next scene number is greater than the total scene, then we update the record and set it as finished, right? We put it onto the next part of the status, which is ready to render, and we're using the ID to match, okay? Very important. But if not, if it's less than that, right? If the next scene number is less than the total amount of scenes, that means that we have a couple of scenes left. So we're gonna go ahead and analyze the video. right? The video from the previous scene. We're gonna check that out. A few things to just ensure that it works properly. And then we get an analysis of it. Okay, so we're actually running Veo AI, the other provider, and we analyze the video, and then we're using the extension agent. Okay, it's a normal agent to just define us the next scene over here. So we have a big prompt over here. So your task is to generate cinematic visually rich prompt for the next video scene. Once we have this prompt, then we can go ahead and upload the file. I mean, once we have the prompt, we actually send it to the next workflow, okay, which is going to be responsible for extending the videos. So this one over here, we're going to send it to the beautiful extend feature, okay, which is allowing us to make all of this possible. So this is the prompt for the next scene. Then we go ahead and generate that next scene, right, with data from the previous scene. We get the video status, typical stuff, some error handling, and once we're done with the extension, then we get the video, okay? Once you have the video, then let's say we have a scene and we generated the second scene, so scene 2 out of 5, then we can create a record and we would just add a few things like, the scene URL, the prompt that we used and all that. So that's gonna go over here on the scene section, right? In the backend, you could call it, and it would add the second scene. And then we are just going to go on a loop once again, adding a +1 to the scene, right? Scene number 3, then generating the scene +1 equals 4, and then 5, right? And then we would just be populating this with the videos, right? And once we have all the scenes, so we got to scene 5 out of 5, then it's gonna go up onto this branch. It would set us complete. And then we can go on to the next step, which is merging and rendering the videos. And remember, we're using 2 providers. So KIE.ai, which is this one over here, okay? KIE.ai, so make sure to get the right API and all that. You should be able to figure that out. But we're using KIE AI, and that's for the generation of the videos and the scenes. And then we're only using Veo AI. So we're using Veo AI for the video understanding because they have a really good understanding model. Which will help us to get context for generating the next scenes. Okay, so those are the 2 main providers we're using. All right, so for this next part, we are searching for a record which has the status ready to render. Okay, so make sure you only have one video working at a time, otherwise this might not work. So yeah, the filters are going to be changed automatically, except the first one, which you need to set up by yourself. But this one and this one should be made automatically. But yeah, we will get that record, and then we are going to go behind the scenes, okay? So for this record, we are going to grab the main ID. Usually this is hidden, but we are purposefully getting it out there. This is the Airtable record ID, because then on the scenes, we are going to grab all the different scenes for that video through the main ID. So you see all the different scenes have the same main ID. So we're going to be pulling out all these different scenes, okay, with all the task IDs, their URLs, all their prompts, and so on and so on. And we're gonna split them out. We're going to split the different scene URLs out, and for the purpose of just uploading them onto Google Drive, okay? We need to upload them onto Google Drive, and here we have the videos. Then the next step would be to actually upload those videos. So we're gonna put a unique name. So what we're actually are doing is putting the date, okay, which is a unique identifier, so that we're sure that whenever we do other videos, we just don't have a letter or a single number, because if that happens, then we might be pulling out different videos, okay? So make sure that this has every video or scene has a unique identifier. So this is why I added this interesting looking expression with date.now, and then I'm actually adding 1 as an index on top of it. So you'll see that we have the name, let's see the file name over here, it's 1, but then for the second scene it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, okay? So once we have uploaded all the different scenes into some sort of permanent storage, such as Redpanda AI, so we're using, I'm guessing that KIE AI bought some storage space there. Once we uploaded all that, now we can ask the API responsible for putting the videos together to actually grab the videos from somewhere, okay? So essentially we are gonna combine the fields so we can then put them all, refer them all directly onto the sub workflow, which is gonna be responsible for putting the videos together, okay? So we see that we're sending it as an array, right? And we're gonna see how that looks like. So let's open the sub execution or the sub workflow, which is responsible for merging the videos. So let's copy it into the editor. And you can see that we grab the URLs, right? If we actually grab one of these URLs and we paste it over here, you can see that we get this downloaded. If we click that, you'll see that we get one of these videos, okay? So it's actually being stored on Redpanda AI. And going back to here. So the merging of the videos, once you're back here, we have the URLs. Then we're doing some quick transformations here in order to just trim 1 second. Okay, so I found out that for most of the videos, if we trim just 1 second between in between the videos, okay, if we trim 1 second, it actually turns out to be better, right? It turns out to be a smoother view of the video, but you can obviously tweak this. So actually it just adds 0.3 second trim to each of the videos. I think this should be, it adds 1 second trim instead of 0.3 seconds. So I'm gonna change that. And yeah, that's all. That's the main thing we're doing here. Then we have another code in JavaScript, which is just adding some more details. And then it's ready to send to Shotstack, essentially. Okay. So Shotstack, if I may open that over here, this is an amazing video creation platform that, yeah, allows you to edit videos through an API. So you can set instructions for trimming, adding scenes, well, not adding scenes, adding transitions. And you can do all this via the API. So make sure you add some credits for this. It does last some long time. So that's a good thing. But yeah, we're essentially sending that onto Shotstack for just putting the videos together. Once we've sent the job, so once we send the instruction of, please, let's do some editing on the tracks or the scenes, we're going to wait until we get a ready status. We want to make sure that, it's ready to go, that the full video is ready. And once it is, we're just going to get that video, right?
You could join me here on the sofa today. Let's talk about finding your creative spark.
Right. So you get that. And yeah, so that video gets pushed onto the main workflow. Okay. And then we're just uploading the rendered video and then updating the record with, well, the URL of where that video is, and then setting this to ready to upload so that then we can push it onto the next workflow and so that it works correctly, because this one is looking for rows with the status ready to upload. But yeah, once we're here, then we're gonna do that, as I said, and then we're gonna trigger a publishing agent so that it writes the description, title, and everything else for us for all the different social media channels that we wanna post it to. Here we have the prompt, okay? If you wanna add more, obviously add it onto the prompt. We're adding specific rules as well for Instagram Reels, Shorts, and TikTok. And once we're done that, then we are going to upload the video. So in this case, we are using Blotato, okay? Blotato is an API and also a platform to manage all your social media posts in one single place. And I really like this tool because you can get inspirations, create prompts in order to automate the creation of your posts, right? You can choose different sources, actually schedule the calendars, and see your published posts. So all the posts that you see here were uploaded and posted with the Blotato API, and then you can just manage them here. You can see the dates, you can see what you actually posted, and you can view it. So if you hit view, it should take you to the place where it's posted. So let's have a look. There you go. So this is the one that I posted, which is great. And yeah, it's, I don't know if you know Sabrina Ramonov. She's the one that created this, this platform. And yeah, she's a creator. I always love working with creators that are building tools for themselves and for, other creators as well. So yeah, make sure to check out this tool. And yeah, out of the ones that I checked out, this one, in order to post on social media, it's probably the easiest one to get started with. So before you actually add the nodes and set up the nodes with the credentials, right? Because you need to create a credential. need to add an API key, make sure you first connect to, let's see if I can get Blotato back here. So let's come back over here. So before setting the nodes and the credentials inside n8n for Blotato, make sure to log in to all of the accounts that you want to post via the API with Blotato, okay? Make sure to do that. I made sure I connected to those ones. And if you want to look for the API key, all you need to do is just go over here and copy the API key, okay? But yeah, once that is sorted, then we can update the statuses, okay? So the video has been uploaded, and this is going to appear as, well, first of all, we can upload the statuses here, but mainly on the main dashboard so that we can see they have been uploaded successfully, okay? So that's it for that. And then if they all have been uploaded, we, as I said, we update, we first update this. Once all of the videos have been uploaded here, once all of the statuses on the scenes tab are uploaded, then we can say that they have been uploaded on the main dashboard. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the entire workflow, okay? So all of the heavy lifting is done for you if you download this. I'll leave a link to this in the description. So yeah, once you have this set up, then you can start making long form videos on autopilot. Not only long form though, you can also do vertical videos if you change the generation for Veo 3 over here, okay? So on workflow 2 out of 4, you can come over here. Actually, it's workflow 2 over 4. Yeah, so that's where ratio is set up over here, 16/9. You can change that to suit for vertical. But yeah, I'll leave, as I said, I'll leave the 4 workflows, okay, for you to download. And if you're having any problems with the prompts, okay, you can ask ChatGPT to generate this for you. So to generate the instructions for the videos that you're trying to create. Okay, make sure you define the scenes and you have some sort of description and dialogue if you have any, and make sure to choose number of scenes and the visual style, but make sure that the descriptions, right, you make it to the same number of scenes as you set over here. Otherwise, there might be some issues. And one last thing, if you're not getting the right generations, then make sure to, I'll leave this obviously in the workflow as well. I left the official prompting guide by Google. Just have a look at how Veo 3.1 should be prompted and what is allowed to be prompted. Because when I was playing around with this and I was testing it out, I saw that depending on the stuff that you prompt, it's not going to allow you. If you put, for example, real characters, real places, it might not allow you. So as I said, this is with Veo 3.1 because I wanted to test the latest model, but there's always a chance that with, since we're using a provider, we're not going directly to Google to generate the videos. What you can do is just switch the model from Veo 3.1 onto another model, which is less restrictive, such as Kling, okay? So Kling, I think they're a really good video model as well, from text to video. But I left the structure for the instructions over here. And yeah, some other notes that might be valuable for you to read before getting started with this, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. And yeah, it's pretty interesting because if you understand how to harness these video models in the way that I explained here, okay, once you play around with it and you see how everything works, you can turn this into an app, okay? So I'm actually doing that in the background. So if you want to have access to that app, make sure to leave a comment in the description, okay? I'm keeping it very low-key now. So yeah, for the lucky person that is watching this part of the video and reached out till the end, make sure to drop a comment. So yeah, make sure to do that. Drop your email if possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and a follow. It really helps the channel. And if you didn't like the video for some reason, or you have any other suggestions, please drop them down in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.